But you've probably put this together by now, guys. I am a bit of a nerd, I'm a bit of a geek, which is to say I don't have social skills so much as I have facts that I can repeat to people. Like for example, this one time I was at a friend's dinner party, and I was explaining to him how when you go deep sea diving, you actually want to use a mixture of oxygen and helium in your tank, because helium, unlike nitrogen, when under pressure, won't accumulate in the synapses in your brain, causing nitrogen narcosis. And he's like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you scuba dive. I don't. I just know a lot about compressed gas. So that's the kind of heat I bring to your dinner parties, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who want to know how viscosity works, pass the Merlot. Does not normally go over all that well, but there's one time I remember it did, and this was I was at a party. This was a very, very cool party. Like there was people there from all over the world. There was a couple people there from Paris, France. There was a girl there from Argentina, a guy from Saskatchewan, so all over France. And I was sharing facts with them, and I don't know if it was because English was their second language or because anything's more interesting than Saskatchewan, but they loved me. I was saying stuff like, hey, did you know diamonds are flammable? You can burn them, and they were maintaining eye contact. I've never felt more alive. But at one point in the evening, I was talking to the girl from Argentina, and we were talking about like philosophy and religion and all that deep stuff. So I dropped this fact on her. I was like, hey, did you know that all the world religions got together and they were asked to pick a non-religious movie that best represents their philosophies? And they all picked Bill Murray's Groundhog Day. Which is something I heard once, and repeated as fact. But when you think about it, probably isn't true, right? Just don't trust anything I tell you at a party. But the girl from Argentina, she didn't even call me on that. She'd actually even seen the movie, which is kind of nice. She's just like, yeah. The only question she had was like, yeah, one question. What's a groundhog? I was like, oh, well, you're from South America, they have different animals there, that makes total sense. Well, a groundhog is like a fat rodent that lives underground. She's like, oh, okay. So did they just make it up for the movie? Or is there actually a town that has a whole day dedicated to a fat rodent? Not just the town, it's kind of all of North America. She's like, why do you have a whole day dedicated to a fat rodent? Well, we let it predict our weather. How does a fat rodent predict the weather? Well, we reach down a hole, grab it, pull it out, and then if it sees its shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter. She's like, how accurate is that? It's not very accurate. It's really terrible. Like, okay, how do you even know if the groundhog sees its shadow? Well, we talk to it. She's like, you get some crazy person to talk to a fat rodent to predict your weather. No, they're not crazy. They're usually the mayor. She's like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And I was like, it's only dumb if you think about it. And nobody ever does think about it. Because Groundhog Day is in February, in the middle of winter. Do you have any idea how miserable winters are in North America? It is dark all the time. It is so cold, the skin on your knuckles will split open and bleed. It is cold, it is dark, it is gray, it is depressing. And in that pit of misery and despair, sometimes all you want is a respected public official to ring